Hi everyone, I'm the Econ Guy James, and today we're going to look at labour market forces and government intervention. So it gets pretty technical pretty fast. So basically for the labour market, we the people are the labour, we are the supply of labour, and it's a derived demand. It's needed for production. And there's a few assumptions we need to look at in the labour market. Basically there's only capital and labour, and these are kind of interchangeable. So if capital becomes more proficient, organisations are going to reduce their employment and invest more in capital. If labour becomes more efficient, they're going to reduce their investment in capital or keep it the same, hire more labour. Think about how ChatGPT is so useful right now. Let's say one accountant can now do the job of 5, so they might actually remove 4 members of staff, pay for a ChatGPT membership, and get that implemented in the workforce. That would show the same output with a greater income or greater productivity per worker. We know the firm is a profit maximizer. They want to make as much of that beautiful, delicious, sweet, tasty money as they can. And it's a perfectly competitive labour market. This just basically means firms are wage takers. They've got no real choice in what's going on. There's perfect information. So everybody knows everything about the jobs that they're doing, the availability of jobs, the number of jobs. There's no issues with traveling to and fro jobs. You can enter and exit easily. These assumptions are basically made for perfect competition to make the theory. In reality, we know that these perfect conditions don't exist. So here's a little table that I often get students to do in class, and I think it helps with breaking down and understanding what's really going on and why they hire the amount of people that they want to. Firstly, here we have total physical product, right? So let's say this labor represents each extra person added to the mix. Let's say we've got a coffee shop. So in this coffee shop, when we've got no people working, there is no total physical product of labor, meaning there are no coffees produced. However, when we have one person in the coffee shop, this one person is able to make 10 coffees. Let's say we add another person to the coffee shop. There's 2 machines. They might get in the way of each other a little bit, but when we add another person, all of a sudden we have 8 extra coffees being produced. And that's where marginal physical product of labor comes in. So now what we can see is when we have that second person, as I said, there's 8 extra coffees made, third extra person, 4 extra coffees made. So what we're seeing here basically is a diminishing return. Every time we keep adding people, we have increased the total output by these amounts. Eventually though, if there's too many people working in a very small coffee shop, they're going to keep getting in the way of each other, and actually too many people employed might reduce the total output of coffee. We don't want that. So moving forward, marginal revenue product. So this is the extra money received per extra employee that we add. So when we added our first employee, we're clearly selling these coffees for $5, right? So our marginal revenue product, our revenue from adding one extra person, marginal, is going to be 50 here because we've sold 10 cups of coffee. In the next case, when we had our second worker, we've added 8 cups, which we sell for 40, and then 4 cups, which we sell for 20. So the revenue that we're getting each time we add a person is reducing slowly. Next, we know that the wages are all the same. They're wage takers. They're not wage makers. They've got no bloody choice in the argument. This one represents total revenue, and you can see slowly actually as we add more workers, our total revenue keeps going up, which is great, but eventually it goes down as we have reduced our output of coffee. And our total costs are going to be our fixed costs, which are 10, plus our variable costs, which is going to be wages. When we've got no people working, all we need to pay is for the roof over our heads, which is, let's say, $10. But as soon as we add another person, got that wage, that's why it becomes 40. Then we add another 30, becomes 70, and so on. So as you can see, the more people we employ, our total costs increase. And then finally, we have our profit. So I'm sure you can work out what our profit is. Profit is going to be the total revenue. So the total money generated minus the total costs. Which one offers us the highest profit? That's right, number 2. So that's how many employees the organization is going to select. This is the profit maximizing rate of them. At the second employee, we're paying them $30, but they're making us $40 worth of extra stuff. Well, a better way to phrase it is we're paying this extra person $30, and the team together are making us $40 extra. So we make 10 off adding a new guy. Here though, we're paying 30, and we're only getting 20 in terms of coffee assets that they've produced and sold. So not really worth it for us. So that's why we stick with 2 workers. Now, this is what the graph looks like. Don't be scared. This is the wage for the market. The reason why the wage is represented this way is because they don't get a choice. They have no choice in the wage of the market. They're just takers. Them's the rules in perfect competition. You might be asking me, James, what on earth is this bloody red line? This line is the MRP, the marginal revenue product. Look at this. When we add one extra worker at the start, nice one. We're making $50 of coffee. We add our next guy, we're making $40 of coffee. And then 20. So as you know, when we add this next guy, the third guy, we're only making $20 extra. And we've got to pay the third guy $30. That's not good, is it? Look at that gap. So the idea is if there's a gap here, we keep on employing because there's profit to be made. But if it goes beyond this gap, that's not going to be good for us, otherwise we're going to lose money. And that's in your exam, they try to make this a perfect point where kind of wage equals the cost of employment. Wage equals the value of the goods and services that they produce. Let me just quickly show you the connection between these two to make it easier. You can see here, like, this is actually the total industry. So the total industry is supply of labor and demand of labor. Basically, we have loads of things that can increase supply. We might have immigration, and then if we have immigration, supply is going to move here. If supply moves here in the labor market, the new minimum wage is going to be at this new equilibrium point, and so this wage will change for the individual firm. So basically what we do is we take the whole industry market, find out where the equilibrium is, and we run that line across. And I love to do this for students in exam because it shows a much richer understanding of the labor market. So it's definitely worth understanding this and learning how it works. All right, I'm glad we got through that one. Have a good day, and I'll see you again.